My entitled parents handed 25% of a clinic I built myself to my sister. But I made them pay. Some families cheer for your success. Others show up with knives, sometimes not the kind made of steel, but the kind that cut through paper. I'm an adult woman. I poured my sweat, sleepless nights, and every dime I had into building my medical clinic from the ground up. What started as a small room with second-hand equipment had grown into one of the most respected practices in the city. My clinic wasn't just a business, it was my life's work. So imagine my fury when one evening over dinner, my parents slid a thick envelope across the table. Inside, legal documents. And their demand? That my sister, who had never lifted a finger in my journey, be entitled to 25% of my clinic. They didn't ask. They expected. My sister smirked across the table, already tasting the money. My parents leaned back in their chairs like monarchs handing down decrees. But instead of rage, I laughed. I reached into my briefcase, pulled out a folder of my own, and laid it carefully on the table. "Funny you should bring up documents," I said, my voice calm but sharp enough to slice glass. I opened mine and flipped to a page I knew by heart. Clause 4.3. I began to read aloud. In the event that any individual, including family, attempts to lay claim to ownership of the clinic without financial or labor contribution, their names shall be permanently barred from the inheritance trust established under this clinic. Their faces drained of color. Because here's the twist. Not only had I protected my clinic from leeches, but the trust also contained my estate, assets, and the very home they lived in. My sister stammered, You can't do that." I leaned forward. "Oh, but I already did. You tried to take 25%. Instead, you just lost 100%. Silence crashed over the table. My parents froze, realizing their greed had cost them everything. My sister's smirk collapsed into horror. Then I stood, slipped the documents back into my briefcase and said, "Dinner's over, and so is your entitlement." That night, I didn't just defend my clinic, I turned their scheme into their downfall. They thought they could strong-arm me with papers. They forgot I write my own rules. Because here's the lesson. Success isn't about who claps for you at the table. It's about who tries to steal from your plate. And the sweetest revenge is making sure they never eat from it again. If you love this story of betrayal, power moves, and the ultimate clapback, hit subscribe on my YouTube channel right now. More shocking stories are on the way, and trust me, you don't want to miss the next twist.